Yeah, Film Vault! Welcome everyone to the Film Vault. That's Anderson. I'm Ryan Regimbal, your host for today. Oh, we've got to bring you a couple listener-assigned films. This is the best time of year. We get to catch up on these listener-assigned films, find films from the past that we didn't know about, and Flickfessions and bring them to you, as well as one I've been sitting on for a while, and hopefully we'll enjoy as much as I did. Anderson, how the hell are you?
I'm great, dude. How are you?
Never better.
Never better? Why, Brian? Why are you so good?
I'm top of the world.
I'm all right. I'm good.
I am okay.
I got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on.
I'm really tired.
Are you?
I'm very tired.
That's no way to open a show, Brian. I don't care what the show
You
is.
pressed me. I initially said I was at top of the world.
If you're my guest, and I'm
you're
trying
like,
to
that can't be true.
To sell people sleeping pills, and
Ooh.
that would not be great for my guest to be like open with the fact that he's tired.
Speaking of which, there might be a sleeping pill in my future.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's sniff worthy. Oh, you're bragging about taking a sleeping pill later tonight?
Might be an ambient night.
Do you need to? I mean, if you're so tired.
You know what? I need to sleep through the night. That's the issue. I can fall asleep easily. I'm very
What's your
tired.
problem? What's your problem? Why are you so?
I don't know.
Happy?
I really don't know. I woke up. I didn't wake up. I never fell asleep till damn near 5 in the morning. 5 in the morning. I was awake all night. Awful. Torturous.
Is it one of those things where you were laying there so long you got sore? I hate that.
Yeah, that and my mind started racing, which is the anti what you want. And so I'm thinking of all sorts of different things. Mind bouncing
All the
around.
movies you're not going to see?
Yeah, exactly. And I started thinking about Michael Jackson and like him not being able to sleep and the doctor injecting me with like propofol. And having just had propofol for my surgery, I'm like, this shit really works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd use it for recreational sleep.
I just have no headphones
I
today.
told that to an anesthesiologist when I got my wisdom teeth out. As I was coming to, I told him, great job. I totally see why Michael Jackson did that every night.
Propofol works.
Did you get a laugh?
Fast.
I don't know. I was so out of it. I literally clapped the doctor on the back.
You give him an attaboy?
Brian doesn't want to talk about the real issue, and I feel bad, and I'm to blame, and I thank you for letting me off the hook here, but last night, Brian and I watched a particular movie with our audience.
That could be it.
And I have a feeling that might have something to do with Brian. Why Brian?
Could
I can
be.
tell you, if I was in your place and I watched Malignant, I think I might have a really hard time falling asleep.
It's funny. I never thought about it consciously, but it might have stimulated
Seeped
something
in.
back here.
Maybe Gabriel was doing all the
there.
thinking for you. And
He's talking through my life.
Gabriella, let's be honest, you got a female tumor in there.
You know what I hear about a lot is Gabrielle. Time to cut out the cancer.
Yeah. Hey, let's get right to it. Loaded for Bear coming along. That's why I can't sleep.
That's
I
getting
literally
right to it.
totally. I got out of bed last night and tinkered with the script 2 different times. Like I'm in it. I am completely in it now.
Let me interject with a funny coincidence. I was going to tell you in person. I'm glad we're doing this now. And I remembered. So I went to the dentist last week, last Thursday or whatever it was. And the dentist now is like high tech. They have the screen, they have the Netflix. You can watch something while they do whatever they do. And I'm like, I'm just looking at the screen. I'm like, Seinfeld. And I picked season 5, episode 4.
It's a long story to get to the fact that you saw John Capel.
Yes, the sniffing accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the episode. What are the chances? I actually said, whoa.
Because you're in the dentist chair.
Right.
Yeah, so John Kapelos, as Brian mentioned, and Keith Coogan and Eddie Levy. Here's the best part. I'm going to talk more about that on Loaded for Bear, which I literally have not had a chance to record yet. I'll probably do that later tonight or tomorrow. But my favorite part of this whole process, so far, it's still early on. You know, we've been shooting the documentary on this group for the last 4 months now. And then a lot has gone into the short film that kind of popped up because of the strike that was going on. We realized that we could offer work because shorts are not part of the strike. So we jumped on that, and now that's all happening. As you know, October 20th, we're going to be doing the big shoot. There's going to be like 28 people on camera that day. I think about 23 of them are going to have speaking lines. It's like there's a lot going on in one day. It's quite the endeavor.
You're cramming it in.
I'm going to have 2 separate crews going for the documentary side of things. Like it's going to be like I'm going to be like ringleader that day. Yeah, I better get some sleep the night before.
How much coffee are you having for that?
I know. We start shooting at 7, or we show up and call time 7. We end around 10. And
where is the location?
I might need some help. Hey, if anybody would like to help out and help me out with PAing, that's a couple of positions. I'm like, I don't even know where to find PAs at this point. You know, I got all the other positions pretty much filled, but I'm looking for a PA. So
helpers.
What was I saying? My favorite part so far has been going on the last like 4 or 5 days because it's a bunch of the Born to Act players I have parts for, and I want to be or in front of the camera, or like have them help out and learn some stuff behind the camera and pay them for their time. And I'm calling the parents one by one because I don't do the email thing. And I know some of the parents, I know all their kids really well. And it's been so fun hearing the reaction, which is just, they're so excited and happy to get a chance because they work so hard at the acting classes that they do every week and going and learning stage direction and whatnot. But very few of them, some of them have had a lot of in front of the camera experiences, but a lot of them have not. And this is going to be like a whole new experience for them. And just hearing the parents light up it's been worth all of the hard work so far.
Great.
Even if the thing becomes a complete and total abomination by the end, and let's say I fail miserably, and
there's a non-zero chance.
No one will be happier than Brian.
Brian would be pretty pleased, yeah. But just giving them this experience, giving these guys that work so hard at their craft and and giving them an opportunity to go through makeup and hair and all that stuff, it's so much fun. So far,
where is the location?
It's been 100%. It's in North Hollywood. It's been 100% positive. The people have been very, very excited and thrilled. And the worst part though is I can't invite everyone because we've got over 70 active actors in this program, and I can't bring everybody down. So that's the worst part. But hopefully if we get to do the feature, I can invite even more down and to be a part of it. So that's been really fun. And all right, let's get to
exciting. Where do people go for more info?
Loadedforbeardoc.com, DOC, Loaded for Bear Doc. And if you've been thinking about giving, it's 501c3. You can write it off at the end of the year. We definitely need funds so that I can pay everybody because right now I'm not fully funded for the short, and the short is 3 weeks away as you hear this, which stresses me out.
Nothing like kind of close.
Stresses me out a little bit, but yeah, the clock was ticking. We didn't really have a chance to get all our ducks in a row and wait. We had to strike while the iron was hot. So
understood.
I'll figure it out. But yeah, if you would like to give or have your company match, that would be huge if you've been thinking about doing it. I'm going to do a big push. I got to put together some video. Sure. We haven't really even shown much of the video that Mike and I have shot so far.
I would love to see some.
We're gonna
Is Jillian going to PA?
Jillian will not PA. No, she'll be watching Child that day. She'll be watching Atticus. PA. Atticus is really upset that he's not in the film. I'm like, no, I'm not writing you a part. What are you, Stanley? You're not my dog. I always run a part for Stanley, but Atticus does not get a part. No. All right, cool.
No free lunches here.
No free lunches.
No Nepo babies today.
And I'll talk about real estate a little later in the program.
Oh, really?
I'm out there. I'm doing it, Brian. It's great. Yeah. Showing that place just today. I'm on the phone all the time. Yeah, I am.
Deals?
Dude, I got 2 phones going, and I am.
You're either a successful wheeler and dealer or you're a drug dealer.
Yeah, it's one or the other, right? A lot of pacing. I'm getting my steps in, and yeah, it's a rush. I love it. I'm talking about the movie. When the movie goes away, I'm like, just houses now. You know what I mean? But it's 2 jobs in one. But I mean, easy.
It's fun.
I wish I had a few more hours in the day, but absolutely fun. It's so much. Just meeting families that need. I was with a guy today. He's a Marine, and he's looking for a house for his parents, his elderly parents. Yeah. So I'm finding places that work for his budget for his elderly parents, and showed him a place today. I didn't love it, and I was telling him what wasn't great about it. I love that kind of thing. Well, it's so much fun.
How are you going to celebrate that first sale?
I have a bottle of a wine that I have had for quite some that I got from my real estate agent way back in the day, and I've been waiting for a special occasion. So when I get my first listing or sell that first property, I will probably drink that.
Exciting.
I have a special beer by that Better Brian gave me that I'm going to drink after the short film is done.
Brian, we know.
Better Brian McCulley. That's his name.
That's right.
It's his full name.
That's his full. I didn't realize that.
It's his Christian name.
Listener Better Brian McCulley sends beer. It's been a while, Brian. What's up, man? All right. Hey, let's hear what the listeners have been.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was a jarring transition, but yes, we should talk some movies.
Sorry.
A little segment we call Fanfliction. Let's hear what the fans of the show have seen.
Fanfliction compiled by the Mitch Burns. Creative Deviance on Instagram. Bottoms was completely oversold by the boys.
Oh, this is Rand Courtney. I'm outing you right now, Rand Courtney. What's the matter with you?
Maybe I am soulless, but I didn't think this was funny at all.
Oh.
Very annoying, actually.
I was about to meet you there, Rand, but unfortunately, it was oversold, but I still found it delightful.
I really can't stand when a movie tries very hard to be funny. On the other hand, I watched No One Will Save You, and it was one of my favorite movies of the year so far, especially because it was able to tell the whole narrative without any dialogue.
That's not true.
Speaking of trying,
that's not true at all, Rand.
Speaking of trying really hard to be funny, we got a listener assignment coming up.
We have a listener assignment coming up?
Yeah, we do.
Trying to be... Oh, we're going to talk about it on today's show.
That's right.
I thought you meant next week.
No, Flickfessions.
All right, yeah. All right.
Cody Horton.
We got a couple, so I don't know which one you're
Indeed.
talking about.
One doesn't try hard to be funny at all.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't try even once to be funny. To cure.
It makes no effort
That
in
movie,
humor.
that movie Cure does not try at all. I'm gonna let you know.
It'll cure you of laughter and mirth.
Cody Horton on Facebook. No one will save you. Alien sci-fi wrapped in a story about grief and the need to move on from our greatest mistakes. If it sounds weird, it really is, but it's also pretty damn special at times. No one will save you FVT score with 6 reviews. Do we want to guess?
Probably 6 for 6. Yeah.
I'm going 100. Yeah.
Hundo.
There you go.
I didn't get to vote.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if it'd be 100. That I can tell you.
You would give it a below average review.
That I can tell
Wow,
you.
all right.
No, I was deeply disappointed by this movie, but more on that later. I have good reasons.
Really randed that one. Under the Quinfluence on Instagram. It Lives Inside was solid. A bit generic, but enjoyable. Well directed, well shot, and well acted slice of horror. Nothing mind-blowing here, but a good, solid watch for horror fans. Dave likes movies on Instagram. I saw The Expendables 4 or Expend 4 Bless.
Do you have an old father who was begging you to take him and he can't drive? I mean, these are the only reasons why you would see this.
Expend 4 Bulls. Really generic with a dumb cliched plot.
That's what I'm talking about.
They didn't have to give us something on the level of John Wick, but if they were going to phone it in this much, they should have never bothered reviving the franchise all these years later. The second Expendables is still the best overall. I love that you know that.
The bar is low.
While Mel Gibson is in Expendables 3 is the best villain of the series. Wow, Dave's a fan.
All right.
This must have been
I've only seen the first one.
This must have been a pile of shit then.
You know the feeling you have right now about Dave?
Yes.
This is how I feel, and probably Brian does too, when you're talking about
Fast
Fast,
and
and
Furious.
Furious. Yeah.
Oh, that's
We're
so
like,
good.
wow, he really, really loves this.
Brian enjoyed it.
He's not making jokes.
You
I
used
have
to have
enjoyed
Momoa.
some of the Fast and Fury.
You love
Us.
Momoa.
No, did not love the wall. No.
You know Momoa.
Oh, Momo. Yeah, he was enjoyable.
You love Momoa.
He was
good. Christina W. on
Stereo.
Facebook. Barbie, the IMAX experience, a total money grab, but I'm here for it. The battle sequence was amazing, and the post-credit bonus footage was so cool. Ken/Ryan had a couple of deleted scenes, alternate takes that made me laugh out loud.
I hope they do bottoms in IMAX because I'll give them my money for
I
that
would
money
support-
grab.
Glorious. Finally, Bruce Perky on Facebook. Rebel 2023 is amazing. Probably won't come out to a theater near you. No one will see it, and that's a shame.
Yeah.
I have a link, or I should have a link for Rebel, and I've been told that I must watch this. I've kind of put the brakes on it a little bit because it is not accessible for our audience, and I know that's frustrating. But you know what?
It's
I'm gonna
Rebel?
Rebel, but it's Rebel with there's no without a cause.
Okay.
All right, so it's just Rebel. Yeah, I will be watching this. Maybe I'll try and make that a point to see this before next week.
Let's see it.
Yeah, because the creator is coming out next week, right? And I feel like I've already seen that movie 4 or 5 times.
And the Paw Patrol movie.
I mean, he's not kidding when he says "and the Paw Patrol movie." Like he's a Chase fan. He digs Chase.
What's Chase?
Oh, he's not a Paw Patrol.
Oh, is he one of the dogs? I don't know. I'm taking Tessa for her birthday party.
Oh, you're going for Kim Kardashian, aren't you?
Is she in that?
She's playing a
How do you
poodle.
guys?
I don't know that. News to me.
No, I found that out.
How?
Billboard.
Of course, this guy's a billboard magnet. All right.
That's all I get.
You have anything else?
That's
over
it.
there? Oh, okay.
That is it.
All right, let's launch. Let's launch. Failure to launch is not going to be the name of this episode because here I go. Ready?
Launching.
I watched a film called
Successful.
No One Will Save You. No One Will Save You. It's streaming now on Hulu. Everyone can watch it with or without commercials, depending on your
I thought you were going
plan.
to say everyone can suck it.
Everyone needs to settle down with this movie, and this is my reason why. I was excited because Brian Duffield has a new movie. I wasn't excited to even have it on my also rants because of the straight to Hulu, which has me concerned. Brian Duffield. He's
Duffield.
very, very talented writer. He wrote The Babysitter, which we saw, I think earlier this year, maybe last year. And he's part of the Divergent series, which did not really
Spontaneous.
do
I
a
love
whole
that
lot.
movie.
But Brian, you're stepping all over it. And he also wrote and directed something called Love and Monsters and a movie that I absolutely love called Spontaneous. So those are the 2 movies that he directed.
That's nice.
Love and Monsters and Spontaneous. If you recall my review of Love and Monsters, I just wanted like a whole nother act or two. Like that movie could have been 4 hours long if it continued to go where he's just exploring and making his way through and coming across different kinds of monsters and slaying them along the way. It was just so fun and satisfying. Love and Monsters went down so goddamn smooth. Spontaneous, one of the most like brutally explosive love stories you'll ever see that made me cry, and I was completely hooked in from the beginning. I love that movie. So I had big, giant hopes, yet they were very tempered because of the straight to Hulu. And when everything was said and done, here's how I think No One Will Save You would have worked for me better if I had watched Signs right before.
Of the M. Night Shyamalan film?
You and I like Signs. Signs had a lot going for it.
It was flawed, but it's still
worst
good.
part of Signs for me was the frustration because all this insane shit is going on outside their farmhouse. And we don't get to see any of it because we're trapped inside with Joaquin and Mel, right?
And the kid.
The most we see is like they're in a walking cupboard at one point. Like they're in a pantry and we see like the fingers come under. It's like, I want more aliens. You watch Signs and then you delve right into No One Will Save You. Oh, you get your aliens. They come early and they come often. This is very, very well shot. It's very, very well acted, and it is, at the end of the day, a bit of an experiment because of the lack of dialogue, which our friend Rand pointed out. Let me get up my notes here because I didn't know I was going to be going so fast here. And give me 1 second here.
Well, Phil.
Oh, No One Will Save You. I took no notes. Okay, that's good. I did watch this with my sister, so instead of notes, I would talk to her during the movie.
Well, that doesn't help because she's not here. So
yeah, that's true. She is not here. Caitlin Dever.
Caitlin Devers.
Dever. Caitlin Dever from Booksmart, and there's a number of other people in this as well. It's got a
Keep going.
It's got a we need to talk about Kevin vibe. So it opens up. We learn that the town in which she lives in, which is a very small town, they don't care for her.
Oh,
we don't know why.
She's persona non grata.
Yes.
Kind of like Huey Halloween.
No, Hubie was just like everyone was a bully in that movie, and he's
That
a
was
nerd.
absurd.
Yeah, it was absurd. Not a good comp at all, Brian. Thank you
Actually,
for
kind of road rage right there.
Thanks for derailing.
Kind of road rage.
I mean, because when he's on his bike,
Yeah, throw him.
he's not raging though. He's getting raged on.
He's getting raged on.
Yes. All right. So
He's on the road.
She is marvelous. Caitlin Dever. Dever.
I thot it was Devers. Is it Dever?
There's no S. She's remarkable. She has to be remarkable for this movie to work. She's acting with her face. There's like it was suggested. There is like a couple words uttered here and there. We see a postal worker at one point celebrate, and he mouths the word yes or something. Would you shut up? What, do you have people delivering food to your house and honking out front?
That's your car. They're trying to break in.
Charlie's driving.
No one's breaking into my car. Believe me, Brian.
Why is my window open?
Let the cool air in. Very hot man.
Fair.
Very warm.
Very
man.
hot kitchen.
It is a hot kitchen.
I feel very comfortable.
So I like this, like he did with Love and Monsters and like he did with Spontaneous. Effectively, there are two stories going on simultaneously, and so there is definitely subtext. And he went pretty hard with this one, and I had a hard time buying that side of it. I think that was my biggest disappointment. The movie's also incredibly dark, so make sure you watch it at night with all the lights off.
Oh, it's literally dark too.
It'll add to the creepiness, but there's a lot of like, what the fuck, awesome moments in this movie. I think the biggest takeaway is like just a really, really good CGI. Her performance is good, but ultimately, like at the end of the year, I'm going to be talking about bottoms and not this one, Rand. That I can tell you. I gotta stop with this. That I can tell you.
I enjoy it.
I'm leaning on it. I picked it up from Trump. I gotta let go of that thing. That I can tell you.
Believe me.
But yeah, it's free on Hulu if you pay them like their blood money each month, and you can do worse. So if you missed No One Will Save You, stop missing it and give it a shot.
Unmiss it.
I didn't absolutely love it. I'm not over the moon.
So it's a good October movie, though.
Your socks are on.
Halloween season.
Yeah, Halloween season. I would say that a better Halloween season movie would be Malignant because those socks are across the room.
That's true.
Brian's too.
Malignant was eye-opening.
Brian enjoyed his Malignant quite a bit when we watched it last night. If
I have to add it to the list then.
If you're at the $10 or above level, you could have watched that with us last night. If
That was
not,
a fun watch.
I am not.
You have access. It's always available once you're at that level. All the streams are available on YouTube. You just check the old Patreon, and I post the actual file for you there.
Even being aware, as I was, of the spoiler.
I became enraged right before the movie started.
Enjoyable.
Right before the movie started, I got so pissed.
Why?
Because I'm like, hey, what do you know about this movie we're about to watch, Brian? Like, I was just about to do the 10-second countdown.
Yeah.
So we could all push play. And Brian's like, oh, you know what? Funny you should ask. I wasn't going to say anything, but I was listening to a podcast, and a guy let me know what happens with the big twist, which is the whole reason why you watch this movie. That's not fair. Because there's a lot going on, even if you knew the twist.
Yeah, but that's
The
key.
twist
to the
is key.
enjoyment.
It's one of those movies.
Did he say what the twist was, or just knowing there's a twist is enough?
Wait, you talking about me?
He's still.
Oh, I played it cool.
Brian was still discovering some things.
Yeah,
throughout the
I
movie.
knew generally what it was.
And so was I. I hadn't seen it in about a year, so like I had forgotten some key elements. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what was going on.
And the way the twist plays out
Yeah.
in that third act is pretty awesome. That's good filmmaking. I enjoyed that.
It was
one.
very good. James Wan crushing it.
Jail cell.
The jail cell. There were some very, very funny comments, as there always are from our faithful watch-alongers. We were laughing throughout the night. It was a good watch-along,
was.
even though I was very under the weather, and you had to carry the show.
And it was our best one.
You did a good show. Yeah, I'd sign off on that.
Thank you. Can I go?
I guess I just did a whole lot of talking.
Well, let me pick up where you left off. I'll give you a little bit of a break. I've seen a movie called. Where can one stream this? I should.
Oh, and I also want to say, no one will save you. I think, other than the aliens, which kick ass, and there's plenty of them, all shapes and sizes. The house is. I meant to do some research on that house. It's the most idealized house I've ever seen in a movie, I think.
Oh, really?
Not only is the house like an old Victorian, one of these houses in the country, and it's like it's a character unto itself, Brian. And there are some stupid moments like that. It's like she's got like bad shit happening in the house. Things stop happening in the house because those things are like no longer alive. And instead of like going straight into town, she's like, I think I'll hang out here. What are you doing? And then they finally get her a car. The car doesn't start. But I mean, I'm like,
this is where the bad stuff happens.
She does lots of things that it's like, no, you would leave, even if it means like putting on some sandals and walking into town. So the house is this beautiful, like semi-Victorian home on this, like, it's just surrounded by a forest. And drone shots will show you that there's like a giant meadow in between the house and this pond that is like on the property. It's like the most idealized house that you want to like go visit your grandparents at when you're a kid.
Interesting. Hey, speaking of which, how are you as a real estate agent with house styles? I'm bad, but I'm not trained.
What do you mean? Like what the different ones are?
Can you identify
like a Tudor and a
Victorian
Victorian?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I took classes in college on architecture. Architecture is like my third thing that I wanted to be.
Really?
Podcaster was not one of the
Marine
things.
biologist.
Yeah, filmmaker, architect. Yeah, those things. Oh. My wife still gives me shit that I didn't stick with the marine biology. She's like, you could have been sharing scenes with Jason Momoa on Shark Week this year.
And yet here we are.
I said, what could have been, honey? I said, I wouldn't have been with you, though. That I can tell you. Oh, that I can tell you. I got to fucking slow down. All right, I'm going to take a breather. Go ahead.
I saw a film a few weeks ago that I've been sitting on, hoping Anderson would see it, and he has not. So let's talk about Lola. Lola is a 2023 film directed by Andrew Legge, Legge. This is his feature debut, starring Stephanie Martini as Mars and Emma Appleton as Tom. I believe it's Thomasina and Marv something. Whatever. No, they're sisters, and they call each other Mars and Tom. It's kind of a two-hander. There's a love interest in there from one of them, but I was attracted to this. You're going to find this hard to believe, Anderson. I was browsing what's streaming. I have time to kill. I want to watch a movie. I want to watch a movie that I haven't heard of or seen, and this one was sitting at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ryan's like, say no more.
Yeah, well, I did some investigating. Like,
second coming of Christ.
I'm like, what is Lola? And it turns out you can rent it across many platforms for $4.
Did you get like the tinglies in the back of your neck when you saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, there
You hear angels?
There was motion down below.
Yeah. No, we don't have to get sexual.
I'm not saying I popped the boner, but I'm saying
You just said that.
there was some throbbing.
Wait, who's in this? Lola Tong is in this?
No. What?
Didn't you say Tong is in this?
No, there's a woman named Emma Appleton who plays Tom, and then
Tom.
Stephanie Martini who plays Mars.
Because I looked up Lola. I thought you said Tong, and I looked up Lola. There's the actress Lola Tong, which shows up, which is coincidental.
She is
and
not
strange.
involved in this at all. 79 minutes. This is brisk, and it is black and white, and it is a period piece. Takes place in the 1940s, and it is also found footage. So right there, I've described what I would not be interested in normally. Like, I don't want to see a black and white.
No, this does not. There's only one reason why you saw this, and we all know.
What's that?
You know.
The altar.
The great acting?
The altar. Told you.
That's true. You got to be there. And I'm glad I did, because I would categorize this under, we did it years ago. We should update it, by the way. Top 5 almost awesome movies. Movies that are good. They're even very good. They're not quite awesome. Like, you can't give them that 5th star. They're just flawed in some way. But you like the movie, and you're like, yeah, I can recommend this to people. It's a good movie. I want to love it, but it's almost awesome. And this is an almost awesome movie. It's a time travel adjacent. I think I described it as time travel adjacent. So the basics are. I'll set up the story because it's brief and brisk. It's 79 minutes. But these sisters, they invent a machine that can pick up broadcasts for the future, anywhere in the future. And the one sister's like obsessed with David Bowie. Like, imagine how mind-blowing that is for someone in 1941 or whatever year it is. Like, she's like, David Bowie's amazing. And they start to, there's a war breaking out. They're in the countryside in England in a very remote location, and there's a war breaking out. And
It's 1940?
41, whatever.
Is it like being historically accurate? Like
I mean,
is it World War II that's breaking
Yes,
out?
yeah.
It already broke out 3 years earlier?
Well, it's reached England,
Oh, okay.
if that makes sense,
That's
right?
like there's a war on the press. Okay.
As in they're
Yeah.
bombing England.
Yeah, the Blitz, the German
Got it.
Blitz, and all that stuff. So I'm saying it's generally the 1940s because it covers a lot of ground and it changes history. This movie has a lot of liberties with how alternate history goes. So I'm not exactly sure when a lot of this stuff happened.
Is Hitler black in it?
He's in black
That'd
and
be
white.
sweet.
He's in black and white.
Hitler
Okay.
does make an appearance,
Oh, okay.
and it is chilling.
Is it?
So
Chilling, you say.
I'll get to that in a second.
Well, I don't know if you should. It sounds like you're kind of... I can't help here because I haven't seen it.
I know. I'll
derelict
briefly.
of my duty.
I'm only setting up the plot. So these girls invent this machine.
You're doing a good job. I want to see it now.
These girls invent this machine that can intercept broadcasts from the future, and they're watching TV shows and they're watching David Bowie, and they start to tune it and dial it, whatever, and they're getting war, they're intercepting like a war communication between the Allies and the Axis powers and
help.
whoever,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, there's going to be a huge attack on whatever, and they start to broadcast their own broadcast, contemporaneously to like people who are living in the here and now, and they're preventing all these mass, attacks, and all these mass casualties, and they start to be known as like the angel of Brighton or wherever they live, whatever it is, and the military figures out where this is coming from in the middle of the country, and they go there and like, listen, you have a very powerful device. It could help us turn the tide of this war, and we need to use it. They commandeer it. And I'll stop there. I'll just say it works, but sometimes when things work, there's unintended consequences. And
No free lunches, bro.
the third act of this movie, the first act is a bit of a mess. You're like, I don't know, why is this found footage? I don't know why they feel like they have to do this. Second act is like, all right, I'm on board. I see where this is going. The third act, this is a movie that sticks the landing. This is a movie where without like that final third act, it's a 3-star movie, but with it, it's 4, bordering on 5.
It sounds like it is awesome, and you've sold me.
It's
I wanna
almost
see
there.
this.
It's almost there. It's a little independent. It's a little.
That's okay.
I know it is, but I'm saying it's a little rough around the edges, and that's okay too. It's just almost there, but where it goes with alternate history and like careful what you wish for kind of stuff in the third act,
The message.
it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's chilling. You're like, the war goes a very different way. Let's say.
Okay, all right. Stop, right? How about that? Thought-provoking?
Thought-provoking.
Make you think?
One of the characters is so intriguing because how do I put this?
I can't use the word intriguing anymore because I think it was Bill Burr just said, don't you hate it when people say intriguing? I hate when that gets stuck in my head. And I'm like, I like the word intriguing, but now
I'm intrigued.
I know, I'm you know what? Signing off. Intrigued is fine.
It's
Well, better
thought-provoking.
word. Yeah.
Because there's a character who sees things unraveling and spiraling out of control, but goes along with it, and it's like, what is this person's motivation?
It's similar to what happened over there in Germany.
Yes, imagine that extrapolated across many more years.
I do that all the time where I talk about it, I think, on this show. Like, if this movie were to have been shown to an audience from like the 40s or something, they would lose their mind, even though it's it's not a great movie. But like back in like so it is, we take things like that for granted.
Yes,
and that's kind of like playing with that idea, like being able to see the future, like but broadcast almost like they're echoing back somehow, getting ahead of time, and they're getting them ahead of time.
This is a very good movie. I can't say it's great, but it's very good. Low bar, low entry, 79 minutes. You can rent this.
Lola.
Lola, Lola. Lola. and you can rent this across multiple platforms. This is not a waste of your time. Less than 80 minutes. So dive in.
Should it have been called Watch Lola Watch?
Wow, it's not bad. Watch Lola, listen.
Watch Lola Listen?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick breaker here and come back with maybe
Lola.
one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in a movie. Will be discussed next.
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, we're back. I want to know what this disturbing moment is. I assume you're talking about Metalocalypse.
Nope, talking about Cure, Brian. We're
Okay.
talking about Cure,
Maybe we should talk about Cure.
which was assigned to us by listener TJ. Call him TJ, which TJ, I had.
Teach his own.
Why don't you set up Cure, and then I'll let you know about my fortunate, my blessing in being able to talk to TJ about it.
TJ Tutt assigned us Cure, 1997 film written and directed by, hold on, I got this right. Kiyoshi Kurosawa. No relation to Akira Kurosawa. It is just a coincidence. 93% of Rotten Tomatoes. This is only streaming on the Criterion channel, I guess, unless maybe there's a bootleg version out there. Yeah, well, I want to know what you talked to TJ about.
So TJ, he's assigned as Weathering with You, which was the Japan animation. You hear me stumble there, as well as Your Name, which is the Japan anime. And now he's got us watching Cure, which has a real cult following, and TJ is well immersed in the Japanese culture, and he's just a delight to talk to. All of our listeners are a delight to talk to. But the way that I told at the end of our conversation, I told TJ that he would have made a very good film professor.
Oh, really?
I wished I had somebody like him. He's just very, very like even so Cure.
Is
Brian,
TJ a film professor?
He's not. Okay. No. In trying to, it's always because I'm the one who talks to the assigner, right? And if I hate a movie, it's stressful that I'm gonna have to talk to this person who paid good money to have us watch a movie that I absolutely despise. If I'm too obtuse to understand a movie, I also have to have that embarrassing conversation with the listener. Hey, thank you for paying good money to have my dumbass and Brian's foolish butt watch a film.
That's right.
And I don't think either one of us are really going to understand what just happened. And maybe you can help me.
We're not the intended audience.
I don't know if we are. Here's what TJ said. He said, yeah, I too had a hard time after watching it the first time, after like the third or fourth time.
Oh, my.
And I'm like, how?
He was motivated to watch it 4 times.
How do you watch this movie
The
this
first
much?
time was a bit of a slog.
All right, so you want to kind of explain what is happening
I don't know if
here
I
with
can.
Cure? All right, so
I'm going to get broad strokes, and even those are going to be wrong.
you want all right, so do some broad strokes. All right, it's a town is not that far dissimilar to The Wailing, which we watched.
Yeah, it had whaling similarities.
And
but
when I was talking to Chris Terry about The Wailing a couple weeks ago, he actually cited Cure. He's like, it's similar to Cure. There's definitely The Wailing was definitely inspired to some extent by this movie Cure. Kurosawa, also this Kurosawa, he's made plenty of movies, and he's a bit of a B filmmaker for sure. Most of his movies are straight. What are they called? V video. They go straight to video. Kurosawa V cinema in Japan is short for it's straight to video, and he's known as that kind of filmmaker. However, there's like 2 or 3 that he's made that have a real cult following.
Yeah, this one felt like a movie. I mean, it was cinematic.
It was. Okay, so the storyline is
Do you
this.
disagree?
The storyline is this. There's a detective, right? And
There's a lot of similarities to 7.
he's got the wife over there. This is 1997, we should say as well. And there's a string of murders that are occurring, and they can't quite understand what
Is it murders or deaths? Unexplained deaths.
unexplained deaths with X's cut in the. That's the one defining. But other than the X cut in the throat, they are finding the people that are responsible, or whether it's for themselves. It opens up. We see a man with a lady of the night, and they're in like a seedy motel room, and then he just takes a piece of like a metal bar off the wall and just bangs her over the head, kills her right there. And it's like, oh, okay, so this is violent right off the bat.
And he's finding these perpetrators and their victims, and the perpetrators often have no motive and either no memory or like, yeah, I remember doing that, but I don't know why I did it.
Yeah. And that goes on for a seemingly very long time. And
That repeats itself.
Grisly scene after the next, and that was the most entertaining part with the grisly scenes. But then it's like, okay, help us here, filmmaker, help us tie this together. And then they run into this guy who they're, and there's also a psychologist or a psychiatrist who's good friends with the detective, who's a part of the story, and they have that conversation at the beach, and they come across this one young fella named Mesmer. Mesmer, is that his name? There's a couple names too with M's that I was getting confused because I was exceptionally ill when I watched this, which is not a good mind frame to be in. Which I apologize to TJ about. I'm like, I would have had a hard time accessing this if I was not ill. I'm in a brain fog, and this movie was. So Mesmer, he can't remember anything either. He's very aloof, and he's
a man of mystery.
Yeah, and you know there's some kind of hypnosis going on, and you know that there's some almost like Manchurian Candidate possibly going on involving exes.
But like the detective's like a man, he's an investigator. He has no time for hypnosis.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, but it starts to creep in more and more.
And then, so it turns out Mesmer is the name of a very popular camera brand, which I should know, but I could be getting that name wrong. Maybe it's the other name, but remember there's a couple M names going back. Ultimately, what's happening with this story, from what I understand, I should have talked to my buddy Bruce Perky, who sent me an email. He's very excited to hear that we're going to watch this because he loves this movie, which I'm still trying to understand how. I think it's just a brightness thing. I think we're just not bright enough. I shouldn't speak for you, but
well, don't speak for me. I thought that this was a above average movie that I don't ever want to revisit. I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah, Memia is the. Memia, is that or is it the autocorrect?
There were a lot of names.
A couple, at least two M's, and they're referring back and forth.
Is it a woman with them?
See, yeah, it's one of them. It is a movie that you would need to watch a second time, I think, especially if you're dumb. With them. Here's my first note that I wrote, though, Brian. I tend not to just read my notes. I try not to, but the first thing I wrote was I think I hate this movie. That was the first thing that I wrote.
The first thing that I wrote was jaunty music playing over murder scenes.
That was actually fun. That was before,
that was where
early.
It was going to go.
That was early. I thought it was going to be a snapping movie. Like, we were going to be moving and popping. Then I also started getting really frustrated with these impossibly long master shots that were uncut. And they did it for time restraints, I would assume, as also money restraints. So this movie looked like a very melodramatic play. Many scenes played out like a very like to the point where the camera barely moves. It's like a 5-minute scene where all of the actors they have very obvious blocking that has been pre-directed, and they walk over, like the detective will walk over and he's getting frustrated, put his hand on the table and like right towards the camera too, and put his head back like I'm so frustrated. It's like, am I watching a fucking play right now? But then it started to pick up.
The movie does grind to a halt in the middle.
But then it starts to pick up. And before the movie is over, there is a face that we see without skin. At least we begin to see that. Countless murders are happening, and we know they're about to happen, and you're bracing yourself for what you know is about to happen because you know what one character just went through, and now they're set up to do this thing, which was somewhat interesting. And ultimately, it's that fucking monkey that will never leave my nightmares, Brian.
The monkey.
The ex-monkey, without giving anything more away, is one of the most haunting images I've ever seen in my entire life. And in talking to TJ, he thinks that it was maybe just put there for shock value, and it didn't really even need to be in there for the full story. And maybe TJ leaves all this open to interpretation. And I really liked TJ's take on it. And ultimately, what TJ thinks it means is it's almost like a Black Mirror type, showing everyone the worst of themselves through their own memories or repressed emotions or repressed desires.
Okay. That's interesting. I guess I've seen it 4 times to come up with that.
And, every time I see 2001, it's been a number of years, but I've probably seen that movie like 7, 8 times, 9 times. I always have, again, a slightly different take on what it means. So it's one of those movies. I just don't have the patience to watch this one ever again, I don't think.
For me.
The fucking monkey, though, Brian.
Is it worth seeing for the monkey?
I mean, if you want haunting images in your head, if you need to add to that my box is pretty full in my head.
It's 2 hours long. It feels a lot longer.
Kind of does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's enough.
For me.
There's enough good stuff, peppered in that I'll remember. You know what I mean? Like, the hypnosis stuff, once it gets going, was interesting. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here.
It was interesting in how dumb I was, and I'm like, okay, but the water, the flame. And I would think it was going to go one way, and there were misdirects, which I guess I appreciated. But 10 years from now, you ask me about Cure, I'm going to say, oh, there's a documentary about the Cure that I haven't seen, and then you'll say, no, that Japanese movie, and I'll say,
the one with the monkey.
The one with the dog. They live out in the middle. Confusing with the Wailing.
no, I'm not going to confuse this with the Wailing. I don't think, because there's no monkey in the Wailing.
There's no monkey.
But apparently, a lot of this is based on stuff too, with animals and things that were done with animals, trying to get inside their mind space. And yes,
TJ, I'm sorry we didn't love it as much as you.
it was I got a lot more out of this than you did, because I got to talk to TJ about it at length, which was good, and it was a very enlightening conversation.
Can I say this? Low on the fun scale.
It is not fun. No, the Wailing is more fun than this.
Oh yeah.
It's like we're being punished.
The Wailing has like Keystone Cops like a vibe.
Like pratfalls, yeah.
Abbott and Costello.
Cure. Yeah. I got off the hate wagon, but I did. That was the first note. I think I hate this movie, and that was one of those impossibly long takes that with the blocking was just too much for me. It was too much. But now it makes sense when I'm hearing that it's a director who doesn't take himself too seriously.
Yeah. This is a tough movie to access.
Maybe we should watch it 2 or 3 more times for TJ.
Watch along.
No. We learned the hard way. You don't watch subtitled movies along.
That seems
that's true.
challenging.
It was a mistake when we watched House. Yeah, we watched a Japanese cult film called House last month. Watch along with subtitles. Tough.
Mistake.
Tough reading and hearing us talk. Yeah.
Reading, typing, talking.
There was enough action.
There wasn't when stuff happened with that house. All right.
Oh, did you talk to Ryan Regimbal?
Oh yeah, Ryan's one of the best.
Ryan assigned us Metalocalypse, a 2006 series created for Adult Swim by Brendan Small and Tommy Blanca. We were assigned the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I got news for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get an extra credit.
Oh, did you?
I watched 3.
So did I.
3 eps.
I watched the first 3 as well. Yeah.
So you watched them record in the Mariana Trench?
Yes, that was the second one, wasn't it?
I get it.
That was the second one. Yeah, Ryan, I'll let you know what Ryan and why he assigned us this. Ryan assigned us Paris, Texas. Then we also watched The Silent Partner for Ryan, which we both liked quite a bit. And then Sorcerer for you, Drag Me to Hell for me, which was nice.
I watched both.
He had us watch Metalocalypse, the very light assignment of Metalocalypse, the first 2 episodes, as an apology for having us watch Stalker, if you recall, which makes Cure seem like a fun romp.
Yeah, Stalker was heady.
Very, very. 3 Russian men just wandering through puddles.
Through dreamlands.
Dreamlands?
Well, it's all in there. Yeah.
Very generous, Brian. Yeah. Dreamlands, I'm thinking of like toys, like
imaginary, might not be real.
What's that movie with What Dreams May Come? I'm thinking like paint and
God.
color and.
I saw it in the Chinese theaters.
It's such a disappointment. Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's like a movie you've never seen before. It's with paint. Okay. So Ryan Regimbal has us watch Metalocalypse.
And what was his? It was a reprieve after assigning us the aforementioned
Stalker.
Thank you.
Which also has a huge cult following, and many listeners were very excited that our dumbasses were going to watch Stalker. I can only imagine the disappointment when they hear us just say, don't understand.
Are you pre-disappointed now, listeners? You should be pre-disappointed.
I mean, it should make you guys feel a little bit smarter, especially if you can access and like these movies. You're probably Wes Anderson fans, too.
That makes sense.
Oh, no. What am I alienating our... Look at me.
Didn't he? He's got a new one on Netflix, doesn't he? With
I can't wait.
Benedict Cumbersnatch or whatever?
Yeah, he's
That's
got a
not
new
his
movie
name. That's very rude.
Wes Anderson's got a Netflix movie coming out.
Yay. Yay.
Let's see when that comes out.
Metalocalypse is the story of Death Clock.
Deathlock.
I thought it was Death Clock.
You'd be wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was
Deathlock.
I thought it was Death Clock.
Oh, really?
I think it's
I
Death
read
Clock.
poorly, so I thought it was Deathlock.
It's KLOK, isn't it?
Death Clock.
I thought.
Do you know? You're familiar with this?
Yeah, I saw it way
The whole thing?
way back in like college, probably 10 years ago.
All right, yeah.
I saw a
It's
couple
Adult Swim.
early episodes. Yeah.
Okay, I apologize. God, I'm an arrogant
Oh, it's out
You're
as
talking
you're
about Wes Anderson?
listening to this. You could turn this show off and
Wait,
go watch
he
Wes
just came out
Anderson.
with Asteroid City, though.
The wonderful story of Henry
So
Sugar.
you think these movies take a long time to make?
Yeah, Wes
You
Anderson
think these
movies?
movies take a long time to make? No.
Yeah, I think they do. The set design alone probably takes at least half a day. What is it called?
The wonderful story of Henry Sugar.
Henry Sugar.
And it is streaming as you listen to this.
Are we going to gamble on that? Let's
His
gamble.
first reinterpreted Roald Dahl work since Fantastic Mr. Fox. So you might...
maybe I'm in. Maybe
you
I'll
might
give
be
it a
in.
shot. Love that Mr. Fox.
All right. We're talking about Death
Fantastic.
Clock, though.
Yeah, Death Clock. God,
Death
I'm
Clock.
dumb.
It's not Death Clock, it's Death Clock, you idiots.
Fucking asshole.
So, okay. Did you enjoy Metalocalypse?
I did.
You did.
I didn't
Oh, nice.
love it to the point where like I'm gonna watch the rest of them, but I mean, having
It was light lifting.
a brief understanding of black metal and how it works, and from our exposure to Lords of Chaos from just like a year and a half ago, thanks to Tyler Mayer, had us watch that one, and then I watched the documentary on the actual band that led to that movie, Lords of Chaos, and we're somewhat familiar with the black metal, right? And to watch them,
I know the dramatized version, yes.
to watch the fun that they're having with that genre in this cartoon.
Sure.
There's some fun stuff.
Do you know how we often say, or sometimes say, this wasn't made for us?
Yeah, I get the sense that this was not made.
This
for
was
us.
not made for me. I had a real... I had your reaction to Cure, which was, I might hate this. This might be the anti-thing that I like.
Let me tell you this. I watched the first 2 episodes last week, like the night after we did the show, to get ahead of it. You know, I'm always trying to get ahead. And then I felt bad because it had been a couple, like, many days. So, and I was about to talk to Ryan. So I'm like, you know what? My mom was in town. My sister was in town. I'm like, Mom, sorry. Sister Ashley, sorry. I'm going to have to watch one of these episodes. I already watched it. So I watched the first episode again with them in the room. They tried not to look at the screen because it's not made for them, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
But I can tell you that rewatching the first 2 episodes, I appreciated them more than I did the first time.
Okay,
I was laughing out loud.
Maybe need to dive more
I got
in.
the joke a little bit better.
Okay, speaking of joke, the 3 episodes that I saw, maybe it evolves, maybe there's more, but the 3 episodes that I saw revolve around the same joke, which is this band is so extreme, it's hilarious that they're so extreme and their fans are so extreme, like almost like who was the one where people showed up and were like, I hope this is the one where he dies.
G.G. Allen.
Yeah, G.G. Allen-esque, where people are showing up and like, I hope they kill me when they do something extreme. Like the more extreme, better the joke. And then the flip side of that is the same joke in reverse, which is we see the band doing very mundane things or very sensitive things. You know what I mean? Like looking for a birthday cake or shopping at Walmart or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, they were doing very insensitive things in that supermarket.
I understand.
Like he retrieved the meat by bashing his head through the glass and then pulling out the sausages. And the other guy, was his name Pickles, was very excited to hear that the lobsters are boiled alive. That made his day. And then what's his fuck guy, Murderface? He just urinates into the olive trough in front of an old lady. So I mean, they're not that sensitive.
Everyday stuff.
Yeah, everyday stuff.
Mundane.
Everyday stuff.
Mundane, run-of-the-mill, inane.
And also
Tortilla.
their leader, he said no booze, and like the one guy just immediately
fills up
he's
with
got the
carton booze.
leaving Las Vegas cart going.
I had a hard time with this.
I don't think that it's fair for you to judge this series on
What's that?
3 11-minute
You're right,
episodes.
you're right. I
Because
can't
I know
speak
there's a
full
story arc. I know that it goes all sorts of. I know Werner Herzog shows up like in season 4 for like an
Nice.
8-episode arc.
Playing himself?
And I know that a movie just came out in July based on this series, and it's got John Hamm, it's got Mark Hamill, it's got
All right. Maybe I need to watch the movie.
who's the other person? I don't know. It's got the same vibes as like it's very Adult Swim. It's
Yeah.
very
I think you need to be young, stoned, male, or some combination to like
Right.
really enjoy this.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. This. I had a really hard time with this.
Oh, really? Well, you not so hard that you continue. Oh, Malcolm McDowell. How do I bury the lead? Malcolm McDowell is like the 3rd credited voice in the movie. Right. Oh, no. Callan's got to watch this. Where do I find the
I
time?
don't think that's the reason.
Where do I find the time? I need more time.
I feel bad because this is a loyal assigner, but I got to be honest, it didn't land for me.
I love that opening credit sequence, too. It got funnier every time I saw it. I never skipped the credits on that, on the opening title. No. He
It's
leaps off the
30 seconds
motorcycle,
long.
and he's got he's driving his motorcycle and he's got like it's a sidecar, but it's like 2 sidecars on each side with his bandmates in it. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, then expands. Yeah, there's 5 cars on this one. Whatever.
Scott Ian shows up in it at one point. Thundercat. Look at that. All right.
You're really selling it.
This is a now in the film vault zeitgeist. We are now more aware of this. I believe I watched one of these episodes while drunk, maybe 3 years ago.
That actually might help.
I think a listener actually didn't assign, but suggested that I watch. You're really gonna like this, Anderson. And I do think that I watched, and I got a bit of a kick out of it. But yeah, I'm not gonna be like telling everyone they gotta run out and see this because it is for a specific audience. That audience loves this, right?
I can see that.
It's 8.3 on IMDb. This series, so.
That audience sadly doesn't include me.
All right. I mean, this doesn't sing Brian.
No.
No.
It's, I don't know. It was just the same. 3 episodes. Keep in mind, I only saw 3.
There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with the government and keeping them alive. And it is an alternate universe where, Avery, you might not remember, but like the entire world is obsessed with this band, which is very funny because black metal is such a small fringe.
They're the biggest band in the world.
But they're like, take all the bands and all pop culture ever and put them all into Metalocalypse. And that's like the stock market is plummeting because they're not releasing the new album. People like their fans are killing themselves out in front of the record stores because they just can't wait anymore. And who's the lead guy? What's his fucking name?
Something Maximus.
Death Lord or something. He just keeps like they've recorded like 16 full length albums, but he's a perfectionist, so he just keeps erasing when they're finally done, and his band's getting all mad at him. That's good stuff. There's definitely something there, but yeah, it's not made for you or I.
Avery, you must have seen this. No?
He already said that.
Sorry,
I got very angry.
I think I saw reruns in college on Adult Swim.
Wall high.
Feels like the right time and place.
Yeah.
All right. Any more films to talk about?
No, not today.
Oh, thank God.
No One Will Save You is solid. People will like it. However, it did let me down a little bit. Cure was very difficult.
Cure was an effort.
Cure, Stalker, and The Wailing are probably 3 of the least fun movies we've seen this year. I think that's 3 top 5 least fun movie. No, that'd be a downer.
Yeah, we can do it though.
Unfun films.
Not for this year though. I mean,
Top 5 low on the fun scale.
I think I already have my top 3. I think I might have just uttered them. I'm talking like all time. Like those are 3 of the least fun movies I've ever seen, which is fine.
Wasn't was it something Pool or Beanpole or whatever it was? Wasn't
was
that
a fucking lot?
Beanpole was tough.
It was very funny though compared. It was a whole lot of fun.
It was a romp.
It was a romp compared to those 3 that we just cited: Stalker, Cure, and The Wailing. I don't know if Cure and Stalker for sure.
There were dozens of boobies
In
Beanpole.
there were some naked
There was
women.
a shower scene, right?
Yeah, I don't really remember that. My favorite part was some guy just very because it's Russia, right? It's tough, and a streetcar runs over a woman, and you just hear like in the melee, like someone's like saying, "What happened?" And I guess Beanpole is like a just what you call a tall woman in Russia.
Yeah.
And you just hear somebody very casually saying, streetcar ran over some beanpole. That was funny. I laughed at his
Very casual.
callousness.
Dismissive.
Yeah. Some beanpole got smeared on the street.
That is enjoyable.
Beanpole, not bad.
Memorable.
It was that. Wow, we've watched some unfun movies this
Did
year.
we watch that for the Oscars?
No, we watched it for a
Was it
listener.
assigned?
It was a sign. Let me give credit where credit's due. Hey, it's great because Brian would never ever see these movies, and I would
No.
miss a lot of them as well. So
Never.
that's fun.
Oh, you guys.
Beanpole. Oh, it's fucking Nick Eats Cake, of course. Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, Nick. We had a very nice conversation about Beanpole as well. He's going to have us watch Dogs Don't Wear Pants. Oh, I've heard about teeth.
Based on a true story.
We're going to be watching that very soon. All right, let me assign you what the listeners are having us watch next.
Well, this might be a tough week. Let's just do one movie because I got to watch.
I was
gotta watch
thinking more
Paw
along the
Patrol.
lines of 3.
I got to see the creator and I got to see this fucking Wes Anderson.
XTC, This Is Pop, thanks to Jared Patrick.
Yeah.
So you'll be watching a rockumentary, Brian.
Fuck yes.
Brian loves his music docs. That's what he'll be watching. I'll let you know that the lead singer of XTC opens up this documentary talking about how much he hates music docs.
Yeah. Wait, do we have a link or something?
It's only on YouTube, I should mention.
Okay.
And the full thing is up on YouTube. And Jared Patrick is having us watch XTC. This Is Pop. Of course, they're the band known primarily in the States for Dear God, which I loved. They have a couple other hits in there as well, which I wasn't aware of till watching this documentary. But yeah, it's definitely educational and lets you know more about ecstasy. You will probably appreciate it more than I did because you love
Hour
your
and
music
15
talks.
minutes, low barrier to entry.
But it's there you go.
All right, who's that assigner?
Jared Patrick.
Has he assigned before?
Yes, he has.
Okay.
He assigned us Out of the Past. Out of the Past
Oh,
was the
yeah.
last one that he has assigned us. And that is that.
Exciting. Thank you very much, everyone, for downloading. and
Out of the
listening.
Past was that Mitchum movie, the classic.
I was about to say Bogart, but it was Robert Mitchum.
All right. Let's rock it.
Thank you, both Ryan Regimbal and DJ Tut, for assigning us films. We appreciate you, even if we didn't love the movie. Appreciate the effort. Appreciate the contribution to the
Effort?
show.
It's not effort.
No, the effort to, make a contribution, assign us a film.
Mm-hmm.
I
We're
appreciate
getting
it.
close to caught up, though, Brian.
Ooh,
Yeah.
exciting.
And then we'll get back to assigning each other a movie now and again.
Oh.
At least once a month, I think. Maybe more.
You'll be
Maybe
seeing
more.
Lola soon. What do you got to see Lola?
No, I might see Lola on my own,
That's a.
I got to
almost
see Rebel
awesome.
first. How about that?
What's that?
I got to see Rebel first.
Can do. Why Rebel?
Christ. Do you really not remember the beginning of the show?
I remember looking it up. AndersonBryan.com is the website where you can find information about Hank and her ponies. They are our featured artists this week. Thanks, Hank, and thanks to your ponies as well. AndersonBryan.com is the website. Anderson Bryan is the Instagram. Anderson Bryan is the TikTok. The Film Vault on Twitter and Facebook. And the Film Vault podcast on YouTube. Did you ever find the scores favorite for gambling?
Oh, I did 51. I remembered it. In the middle of the night, I woke up and I'm like, 51 is what I said for Expandable 4.
Oh, we can discuss
But you
Oh,
found
next
the
episode.
score.
Oh, I haven't found anything.
What?
Oh,
I almost called you Bri Avery.
I haven't looked it up.
It's quite. Oh, but do you know what our
do
scores
our
are?
scores.
No.
Well, it's quite easy to find. It's what I yell at Brian for all the time. It's like,
How am I supposed to remember what I guessed a week ago?
oh, I remember 51. I woke up in the middle of the night. Like, that's true. Like I just woke up. I'm like 51. I was
Don't we have
looking.
the listener who keeps
Yeah,
his-
check in
yeah.
with Cole.
Yeah. Speaking of which, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, like
Cole.
I hid my Atticus's patch for his karate gi, and I couldn't. I didn't hide it. I misplaced it. I couldn't remember where the fuck it was, and then I woke up in the middle of the night with an epiphany about that too. I don't know if I'm using. I guess it's an epiphany. Realization. I'm like, put it underneath the rug to flatten it out in the middle of the night, like
Wow.
3 in the morning. What
There
the
you
hell?
go.
Chances of that?
What's going on with my brain?
Cleared out all the cobwebs, all the gunk.
Something's happening. Like I wake up in the middle of the night with these strange. All right.
Gambling stats. We'll get around to
This
that.
can be done off here.
Well, yeah, let's go.
No,
Let's go.
this
Talk to
is-
Mike Cole.
This is live.
We'll come at you very soon.
Live.
Next episode, top 5 road rage
Road rage.
incidences
Oh,
in film.
We're gonna
And
hear about. I'd like to hear about actual road rage in real life.
I mean, I had one coming back from a movie just last week, which I don't like to talk about, but it's
The
embarrassing.
last stats we have is for a haunting in Venice.
A girl
Haunting in
almost
Venice.
stopped in the middle of the freeway in front of me. She
That is
That would be
came to,
graceful.
in the, like very, very late at night. Yeah, crazy person.
Don't like it.
I was
All right.
angry.
Thanks, Mike Cole, for
I said you
usually
should not do that.
keeping it updated for our gambling. Eric Kath, killing it over on YouTube. Giovanni, haven't got an email from Giovanni.
I hope he's all right. Yeah, you know, he sent me a
Oh
text.
no, I got the one about he thought it was me doing the read, but it sounded like
Yeah, he sent a couple emails. No,
Sure.
it was you doing the read.
no, it was not.
That was totally you.
That was not me.
That was not you.
That was not me. It sounded just like me. but
Are
it
you
was
sure
not
that
me.
wasn't you?
Yes,
It was during
remember.
my era of Loveline. Giovanni has been finding like reads that I had done because that was part of my job back then when I was doing Loveline, and I'd have to do like these 30-second reads. Maybe we'll play. No, I don't want to do that. We got to play the Brian one though, because that's definitely Brian.
It sounds. I
sounds
thought
like-
it was
sounds all
Brian.
like me.
I
It
really
was
thought it was Brian.
somebody who worked on Loveline and read that for Loveline at the time that you were at Loveline.
But would it have been one of our affiliates?
No, all the promos came from in-house. Came
So it
from
was
me.
must have one produced.
Yeah, that's you, Brian.
I didn't.
I don't
read-
remember reading mine at all. A lot of
You
shit
never
happened.
asked me to do any reads.
You probably asked to do a read.
Oh, stop it.
You probably did.
Can I do one now?
We'll drop one in.
And of course, thanks, Mitch Burns. And until next time.
We do it for Van Gogh.